Hello everyone and welcome to the post-game for Game 5. So we're just going to do the usual. I'll run through the 6 sections and show you what we get in each one. I'll start with the injured fighters, rolling for my assassin first of all. Getting a 3, okay. And for my next assassin, this is the one who's already weakened. He gets an 8. My marksman with the crossbow gets a 3 as well. Interesting. And my marksman with, or marksperson with the bow gets a 7. So let's have a quick rundown. For the ones who rolled a 3, so for the assassin and the crossbow, they get lucky. They may participate in the next game, and they also get me 1d6 worth of gold each. So I'm going to roll 1 for the assassin, 4, 1 for the marksperson, get a 1. So I get 5 coins and they can participate in the next game as normal. The marksperson with a bow just participates in the next game as normal, he's fine. However, because this assassin here already has the broken, already has the battered arm and has rolled an 8, they will now also get broken leg. If they roll that result once more, they will be removed from the game or the party altogether. So I'll just note those down now. Next, my opponent's going to roll for their injured fighters. First of all, they have the marksperson with a bow, who gets a 9. Okay. Then we have the marksperson with the crossbow. See what they get. They get a 5. Then the pirate with the sword. Let's see what they roll. Gets a 4. Pirate with the cutlass, the skilled pirate, gets a 9. And then the ex-soldier on the end gets a 7. Now, unfortunately for my opponent, the one who rolled number 5, which is the crossbow, gets amnesia, so he loses any experience points he gained. So the kill he got earlier, he's unfortunately lost, but that's the only experience point he had. For the pirate who has rolled a 4, however, he actually gets an experience point and participates in the next game as normal. For the model, the ex-soldier on the end that has rolled a 7, he has got, he's just okay, it's just a scratch. But for the skilled pirate and the skilled marksperson from the previous game, both have rolled ransom. So my opponent is now going to have to roll 3d6 for each one and see which, if either of them, they want to buy back. For my opponent, they're now going to roll to see what the ransom values are. For the marksperson, it is 7. And for the pirate, let's roll and see what they get for them. Ooh, it's 14. So my opponent doesn't have enough coins. They only have 19 coins, so they won't be able to rescue both, but they can now make a decision if either A, they want to spend any coins in the first place, and B, which model they want to spend the coins on. My opponent has decided they're going to spend the 7 coins to keep the marksperson alive, but unfortunately they're not going to spend the 14 for the pirate, so the pirate will be removed along with his equipment. I will deduct the 7 coins for the marksperson now. As we come on to experience and skills, we've worked out that the only models currently getting a chance at rolling for them is these two here, my crossbow marksman and marksperson and my alchemist with staff. So let's roll and see what they get. Crossbow first. Gets, ooh, okay. And the alchemist gets a 7. Ooh, that's interesting. After having looked at the stats here, the crossbowman gets, or the marksperson gets tough as leather. That model now gets +1 wound, so now has 4 wounds instead of 3. That's the maximum amount he can earn. As for the alchemist, he actually has rolled a 7, which means he gets to choose his skill. Now, strangely enough, I'm going to take Crushing Might, which is number 3, and the reason I'm taking that is because that will make him damage +1, which with his staff puts him back down to damage 3, admittedly, but it now means he's going to be damage 3 resistance 4 in combat, and that sounds like a better overall option for him. I also might change him out to swords at a later date, we'll see, but that's my skills roll for. Slight bit of a addendum from us. We've actually added up and realised this ex-soldier here as well gets an opportunity to roll for a skill. Let's see what he gets. Okay, so that's a 6. which is Street Smart. So that model gets a -1 to their intelligence to a minimum of 2. Now, given that model has an intelligence of 3 normally, they now have an intelligence of 2. Good for them. For the income gathering, I've worked out that I'll be getting 7 dice from a combined total of models removed, winning the scenario, and my alchemist surviving. Oh, that's quite a good roll, actually. So we've got a 10 there, a 10 there, and a 6 there. So that looks like 26 to me. As for my opponent, they will be getting 5 dice because they removed 4 models from play and their alchemist did survive until the end. Ooh, they haven't done badly either, actually. So that's 10. That's 19 in total that they've got. So we'll add 19 to their score, and then we will go on to the next section. Next we have recuperation. I'm going to roll for my one. I rolled a 1, so actually, unfortunately, that means I lose 5 coins. So I am down to 21 at this point. For my opponent's recuperation, they can now decide if they want to spend 2 sets of 3 coins on making 2 concoctions of their choice. Now, they've decided to do so, but before they do, they roll a d6. If they roll a 1, which they didn't, if they rolled a 1, they would have lost one of those 2 concoctions, but still had to pay the 6 coins in total. So I'm going to give my opponent 2 dice, and they're going to get to pick 2 of their concoctions that they want now. And with that, my opponent has picked the number 2 and number 3, so the steel bullet and the heavy bullet. For the first bit of the purchasing and hiring, I have decided to replace my badly injured assassin with a new assassin with basic weapon. However, if you essentially fire a model from your group, they do take their weapons with them, so I've had to pay the full 22 coins to get him both basic weapons. For my opponent, the first thing they've done is they're going to buy back a brand new pirate, so we're just going to use the same model, but he'll have no skill. Then also the crossbow armed marksperson here, my opponent is going to buy them a basic weapon, but the dagger that they originally had, they're actually going to give to their apprentice because their apprentice model has a dagger modelled onto them, so we're just going to do that, and that will make it a bit easier. For the purchasing of concoctions, I'm going to go with 5 rolls because I have no concoctions left. I've got 1 number that I can pick, which I'm immediately turning into a 6, given the spread that I've got there. So I have 2 2s, a 3, a 4, and a 6. For my opponent, they've decided to go with 2 rolls to supplement their concoctions. And they've got a 5 and a 6, so they've got a bullet storm, and they're going to quickly come back and will change that number 6 to one of their choice. And with that, my opponent has chosen for another steel bullet and a further bullet storm, which is the one that they rolled. Finally, we come to exploration, so I'm going to roll first, see what I get. A 5, so I will be getting tactical plans. On the next 1 turn in the next game, I can force all players except myself to re-roll their dice for the initiative phase. So we'll see how that goes. Next, my opponent is going to roll theirs. They also get a 5, so this is going to be an interesting one, as we now both have tactical plans, so both of us will get the opportunity to force an initiative roll in the next game for each of these 2 groups. So that is us at the end of the post-game for Game 5. Join us on Sunday, where we will actually not be doing a campaign game. We will take a little bit of a break from campaign games at this point. So we will bring you a one-off game using the Followers of Nature's Bounty and the Council of the Cold Knight. We will see you then.